Well, good morning, everybody from the dark side of the Pennines. It isn't dark at all today. Blistering sunshine, which in the UK is a rarity. How are we all doing, everybody? What's going on in your world? I'm going to get the Barnet chopped. Ellen DeGeneres is coming off. And what is going on in your world? Are you happy? Are you jubilant? Are you joyous like I am? Or are you a little bit cautiously optimistic and maybe a little bit weary? We're going to be talking about the San Francisco 49ers in this video. We're going to be speaking about Leeds' fixture list going toward the end of the season. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This video is always sponsored by our friends at IPM Group UK, Leeds fans in Sheffield who are making dreams come true when it comes to when it comes to facilitating stuff on this channel. So shout out to the boys. But yeah, let's get into it, shall we? What a week, what a month it's been for the Whites. You know, in other seasons, there's just no way you're coming away with the style of victories we've had. And what I mean by that is the caliber of opposition that we've been playing in relative conversation to other seasons. Leeds just wouldn't have got this job done. We wouldn't have got this job done. I think we're better than last season. I think this team beats last season's team. And you look at the fixtures that we've got left, aside from West Brom, aside from Bristol City, shout out to Sujal, who mentioned this in the chat last night. They were both at home. Leeds are playing lots of teams. I mean, every single team in the bottom 10. Well, in the bottom 10, they're the fixtures remaining. Now, what a stat that is, really, everybody. You know, the remaining fixtures, aside from those two, are in the bottom half of the league, below 10th. Now, a lot of people might say, "Well, Connor, look, you look at the relegation picture," and I've mentioned it as well. These teams, they get better, don't they? They get better toward the back end of the season. But Leeds' record against the bottom teams this season has been absolutely staggeringly good. We've just walked all these teams. We've taken them out for a walk. You know, we've taken that ball off them and we've ran home. And we can't lose sight of that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy at all. You can't. It's arrogant. There's no easy game in the Championship. But Leeds have got a massive opportunity here to win this league. And we've got to be confident. You know, there's been too many times in my life watching this club where I've not been confident and I've been cautiously optimistic. And you guys, quite rightly, have said to me, "Connor, what are you doing? Why are you not confident? Why are you being negative about this and pessimistic?" And it's not. It's just trying to look at it through I try to see it as a realism scope. Looking through it and you're thinking, now there's problems ahead. But I'm just so confident with this bunch right now that I'm trying to enjoy the journey before we get to the destination, which we all know will be tough. A lot of you will have seen mine and Jim's streams, which have been excellent. I've thoroughly enjoyed the last week. You guys have loved them. Between us, I think we're not far off, you know, sort of like 70, 80,000 views overall with the content that we've produced. So thank you so much for all of your support. You guys have loved it as well. But it was interesting to see the Leeds fan reaction. Jim Bob was giving us a bit of flack at the start of the season with Leeds. And there's more in the tank, by the way, of what he was saying at the start of the season. And he's had to eat humble pie for now. But he was giving it, so I've had to give it him back. You know, and you guys, I'm not very very like that. I can be quite reserved when it comes to it. I'll laugh it off. But I thought, do you know what? I'm going to stick my chest out this time. And a lot of Leeds fans haven't like that. But it's banter. It's between two pals, and so what? Do you know what I mean? You've got to have a bit of fun with it. If you're not loving Leeds United right now, then what's the point? You know, that's how I see it. It is, what's the point in supporting your football team? What's the point in being cocky and braggadocious? It's all about giving it to your mates when you support a football team, and it's been too long that we've not been able to do that. We've been on the whipping end of jokes. And when Sheffield United were top and we were languishing in third for a little bit this season, I was the whipping boy. So people are getting it back. Do you know what I mean? So apologies if you don't like it, but it is what it is. But the 49ers as well came out yesterday. Really good news from my standpoint. Parag was essentially talking about the stadium expansion, where he wants Leeds to be when it goes to a 47 to 53,000 capacity stadium. All good news for me. I think Ellen Road needs a lick of paint. It needs obviously building up. We all know that. And I think maybe the West Stand, if it is to almost equalise that East Stand, it'll be brilliant. And I don't think if they get it right and they've got the Levi Stadium spot on, nothing will be lost when it comes to atmosphere. And they'll do it well. You know, they've got experience with it before. This isn't just a brand new venture for them. They were speaking as well about selling to Red Bull. They said that's never been in the plan whatsoever. They've not even spoken to Red Bull about it. That is not in their plan whatsoever. They were speaking about getting Leeds to Europe, and this is where I thought, like, I just saw a lot of this, and multi-club ventures are a thing nowadays. We've seen it with the City Group, who've kind of pioneered it. We've seen it with the Fenway Group, of course, and many other groups in football. Even when you look at you look at when Benham and Bloom at Brighton and Brentford, respectively, they're always looking for the next club. Because I think the multi-club is where you gain a lot of financial capital and you're able to really become dominant in that world. I think it's the way forward. So a lot becomes, nowadays it'll be very, very rare to just own one football club. And that's the life. We all need to get used to that right now when it comes to Leeds United and ownership. It's not just going to be, it's not just going to be that plain sailing. I don't understand really why Rangers is going to impact us that much. When that happens, there's obviously UEFA regulation, which means we both can't play the same European competition at the same time. But I don't think that's going to be. I think Rangers would get there before Leeds United anyway, with what they have to make up in comparison to what Leeds have to make up now. It could take us 5 to 10 years. It really could. So, but at this moment in time, Parag was saying that they've got no intention. They want to get Leeds to that European stage and all the good stuff. So Kinnear obviously looking today like he's going to be signed, sealed, and delivered at Everton as their CEO, which is it's you always kind of worry because it's a moving of the parts before the end of the season, but it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't really mean anything. As long as Leeds have kind of got that director of football sewn up, a CEO, don't get me wrong, the chief of operation. But yeah, I'm not too bothered if you've got a director of football in there, to be honest with you, which obviously we have. So yeah, and that's at the end of the season. I wonder if the 49ers are even going to replace him. Penny for their thoughts right now, but that will be a full turnover of Radrazani's ownership to the 49ers ownership, which I think is going to be nice. It's going to be a fresh start, and we should really be confident right now, guys. It's a real purple patch, and football's cyclical, and you've got to celebrate these moments, And I'm not saying we've won it. I'm not. I'm confident at the minute that we will win the league, but I'm seeing still so many people worried and so many people panicky. I do really believe in this team, and that changes throughout the season. Of course it does when it comes to Leeds United. At points, they weren't performing, but at this point right now, you kind of get into a stage where you're thinking, what's going to knock us off our perch? And it might happen. Someone might do it. But I still think we'll get promoted. You might get Sheffield United winning every single game. Leeds might slip up. That might happen. That's football. But I still think Leeds will get promoted. I don't think promotion's off the cards right now. The league title, if Leeds do muck up and Sheffield United are nigh on perfect, then yes, of course. But I can't see us mucking up in several games. I just can't see it happening. So it's all positive right now. I think Kinnear deserves that step up. I think overall he has done a good job at Leeds United. The 49ers coming out with a good message. Parag has said as well that he absolutely loves the club and he's completely fallen for Leeds United as it appears everyone does when they come to Leeds. I mean, I was even reading 442 magazine, Roque Jr. Penny for those who remember Roque Jr. But he was saying back in the day in a little interview he absolutely loved the Ellen Road atmosphere, and once again he fell in love with Leeds. He was only there for a season. It was a terrible season. That's what I mean. Many players do just fall in love with the grandeur of the club, the atmosphere, the feel. So obviously if you're an owner of a football club, that's going to happen. So I'm buzzing with everything right now. It feels like it's all moving in the right way. Kinnear is leaving at the end of the season as well, which is good, but that would never affect the playing staff. You got Farker sort of kiboshing that anyway. He's like, no, it's just off the field stuff. We need to worry about on the field stuff. Ampadu is another conversation. What is going on with him regarding an update? Will that affect the team? Is that a problem? Of course it is. It's Ethan Ampadu. Let's not be stupid. Him being taken out of that midfield is big. And I have thought, if I'm honest with you guys, that Gruev in particular against better midfields in this division has struggled. I think we've seen that in the last week, to be honest with you. But that's a conversation for another day. That's when you're talking about the squad building in the Premier League. Um, and as my friend KG says, a lot of these players who start football matches are going to end up on the bench in the Premier League if we do get there. But massive, massive period right now for the club. Are they going to have a result hangover, the adrenaline dump, and lose to West Bromwich Albion? I can't see it happening. Could happen, of course, but I can't see it happening. Sheffield United have got QPR, tough game for them. I think they'll come through and win that. I think Sunderland are out of it now. Burnley, obviously, with an FA Cup game this weekend, which is, once again, it's going to benefit Leeds because if we do win, we're going to be ahead of them and they've got those points to make up. You'd rather have points on the board, of course you would. So a lot, and we could be 10 points clear of Burnley, and they've obviously got the FA Cup this weekend. So it's a really good period of time the club's in. And yeah, as I've just mentioned with Ampadu, that's probably the blemish right now. That's probably the slight issue. But the thing is with Ethan is he's not been available for a lot of the season, has he? If he had been available for a lot of the season and we're coming into the final furlong, and he was out, I'd be thinking, oh God, because you don't know how the squad's going to adapt. But we do know how the squad's going to adapt because we've seen it. And it's not like the players are tailing off either. You're not seeing Tanaka tail off. You're not seeing Rothwell tail off. You're not seeing any of them at this moment in time. And I'm not focusing on Gruev there, everybody, because I think his overall performance, a lot of people forget that I was extremely positive about. It's very recent, but this reaction game, this football YouTube thing is very recency biased. People seem to forget what you've said previously. I said post-injury and a lot of people disagreed with me. I've actually been really happy with Gruev, but he's come up against better midfields. I think he struggled a bit. So yeah, aside from him, I think you've got the option still of Rothwell, Tanaka, and Gruev. Obviously, if someone like Tanaka went down, that's when you'd start to worry. But Rothwell has just been such a good signing that it feels like he could fit in anywhere. It feels like he could just slot in superbly and do what he's doing. And what a signing he's been, by the way, another one for the 49ers. And this is kind of why, and Parag was talking about the wiggle room as well, by not sort of investing in January. And this is where I'm kind of like, it feels sort of vindicated at the minute in terms of what Leeds have done in that January window. I thought would be strong enough. I didn't think there was a need for a panic, and it's not like an I told you so thing whatsoever. But with that squad strength, where would a new player have even got in? They'd have had to come in, they'd have had to been playing minutes. We found out the other day that Marcus Edwards wanted to come to Leeds. Well, look, he's a fantastic, fabulous player, but where would he have got in? Where would he have got in? It just wouldn't have happened, would it? So, yeah, so interesting, everybody. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you confident? Are you a little bit cautiously optimistic? Do you think, going out there and being cocky and abrasive, even though it's all a bit of an act in it, it's just laugh between mates. I think it's too far. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We might go live this evening, and you'll only know that we're going live this evening by kicking the likes up on the video. Make sure you subscribe, and as always, we've got a full podcast available right now, exclusive to Patreon. Make sure you go check that out. I'll see you in a bit.